Hello, everybody. Welcome to Healthcare Sucks. And on this joyous Super Bowl Sunday, let's just hope it doesn't turn out to be Super Death Bowl. Anyway, all joking aside, I hope you all are doing well. We're going to hit the Wuhan virus. We're shooting it on a little screen today. Hopefully, the other site will be back up in a while. We're having internet issues. But there's a bunch of things happen, so I want to hit this and then we'll talk about it.
And in Guangdong County, workers are busy building makeshift treatment rooms to handle the overflow of newly infected patients. Factories are working day and night to meet demand for medical supplies.
People across the country are concerned about the outbreak in Wuhan. What we ordinary people can do is small. I saw this company recruiting sewing machine operators, and I happen to have such skills because I used to work in the clothing industry. So I immediately came to help.
The number of confirmed cases of the coronavirus has now overtaken the SARS epidemic of 2003.
And for more on this, we go to Matthias Böhlinger, our correspondent in Beijing. Matthias, we've seen this jump in both cases and fatalities. People must be getting really worried.
Yes, people are already very worried, so they cannot get very worried anymore. Still, we see few people out on the street. If you look around me, it's a bit more than before because people have tried to stay home for many days now, and today it's a nice day and some people go out, but still it's a lot less than we have seen before. The surge in cases is not really unexpected. We should keep in mind that the incubation period is 7 to 14 days. So the people who are showing up in the hospitals now with symptoms, they're people who have been infected 7, 10 or 14 days ago. And if we remember, that was the time when Wuhan was closed and this chaos broke out in the city. People rushed to the hospitals to get a diagnosis, to get clarity, and people were crammed together in the waiting areas of the hospital, waiting to get tested. And this is probably a moment when the virus spread a lot further. Most of the new cases we are seeing are in Hubei province, the province around Wuhan.
And what new steps are the Chinese authorities taking to get on top of this emergency?
We are seeing now a lot of measures all over the country. One is, we've just seen it in the report, that they're trying to step up the production of medical supplies. They have started to construct makeshift hospitals in Wuhan. They're talking about one makeshift hospital that was constructed in 2003 in Beijing in the SARS crisis, a very similar disease, that they want to put this one back in service. And there are lots of small measures that the party state is taking on every level. Some of them seem to be a bit confused. For example, now everybody who has recently come back into the city has to register no matter where they came from. Delivery services are now stopped at the gate, at least in my compound, and people have to go down to get the deliveries. And also people themselves are taking a lot of measures themselves. Today when I went downstairs, a woman came out of her door with a little disinfectant spray and sprayed the staircase just in case.
Matthias, if I may, internationally, China has been receiving both praise and criticism for its response to the virus. Why is that? I mean, how do things look on the ground to you?
I think there's little doubt about that China has initially handled this crisis very badly. When the first cases show up, the Wuhan authorities tried to cover it up, allowing it to spread further. They were denying that the virus can spread.
Well, things change really fast, guys. And they are. And this is not fear porn. This is reality that you're seeing here. With that being said, yes, China did try to cover it up. They, of course, going to. They're still covering up the truth. There's a lot of things not talked about. Again, not to throw salt on a open wound, as they say, but remember where this came from. And we have not heard a thing out of over the border up there in Canada. Not a word from those people. And they probably, if don't have a vaccination, they should be way ahead of this or very close to having one. So, they need to step up too. In the end, when this comes out more on the main channels and regular TV, this came from Canada, I think there's going to be some heads to roll on this. In addition to that, this is what they call bioweapon. These guys were working on this in a lab up there when the two Chinese people stole the recipe, let's call it, and passed it over there. And the talk is now that they monkeyed with it, as in 12 monkeys, and created a super bioweapon, and something went astray. Or it was initially put out there on purpose, You got to look back at World War I, World War II. Things happen, and things happen fast. The other things you need to be looking at is every 100 years there's a plague. You can research that too. But as far as them monkeying with it, the rumor is they crossbreeded this with several other things to make it a super bioweapon. And with that, we're going to watch a little bit more. And I hope and pray to God, 14 days from Super Bowl Sunday, we don't see a major outbreak.
From human to human, when it was already clear, or there were already enough indications that it might do so. So when they finally acted, they threw everything in that they had, but that was already very late. This is the main criticism inside and outside of China.
Okay, Matthias Billinger for us in Beijing. Thanks for that. Factories have gone into overdrive to meet the demand for medical supplies.
Philippines health authorities said the coronavirus patient had shown signs of recovery but deteriorated quickly. Despite the fatality, officials are urging calm.
All measures needed to contain the spread
From the new coronavirus outside of China. Officials in Manila say the 44-year-old man came from the province of Wuhan, the Chinese province hardest hit by the outbreak. The death toll in China has now topped 300. More than 14,000 people have been infected worldwide, almost all of them on the Chinese mainland. As the number of cases there continues to grow, factories have gone into overdrive to meet the demand for medical supplies.
Philippines health authorities.
And with that, guys, I want to bring it up to you. Some people know, some people don't, but they have little, basically, camps or little cities that reproduce things. That's why they produce heaters, fans, toasters, irons, you name it. Those little factories are set up to rev out millions, if not billions of items. So they've already got those things going. The funny part is you don't see none of that. We're just now starting to see a couple things, but this is a lot worse than we're being told. And so with that, I want you to all take precautions, be careful, enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday, and we'll watch a couple more minutes and I'll hang up. Sorry for the little screen. I hope it's not too annoying.
Authorities said the coronavirus patient had shown signs of recovery but deteriorated quickly. Despite the fatality, officials are urging calm.
all measures needed to contain the spread of the virus is being strictly implemented.
Many countries are now refusing entry to travelers who have recently visited China, against World Health Organization advice. New Zealand is the latest.
Tell me that little recording didn't sound like something from the 60s or a movie. I mean, it's almost haunting, literally.
Much of this is because
China against Philippines
One
health
more
authorities
time.
said the coronavirus
Listen to
patient
this,
had shown
guys.
signs of recovery but deteriorated quickly. Despite the fatality, officials are urging calm.
All measures needed to contain the spread of the virus is being strictly implemented.
Many countries are now refusing entry to travelers who have recently visited China, against World Health Organization advice. New Zealand is the latest.
much of this is because simply we do not know. We're in the very early stages of this virus, and there are still things that we're having to learn about the way it's being transmitted. So this is not an announcement that should cause any alarm by New Zealanders. It's precautionary. We're doing it in the best interest of their health.
Countries are airlifting their citizens out of China. A German Air Force plane delivered more than 100 evacuees to Frankfurt. They will spend the next 2 weeks under quarantine in a special facility. And in Indonesia, more than 200 evacuated nationals will be kept isolated on a remote island.
Okay, guys, tell me that isn't looking crazy, nuts. And with that, I'm going to let you go for now. We're going to try to get the big screen up in a while. And remember, healthcare sucks. Over and out.